Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Friday's market wrap up here. Top Gun Options, Matthew Buckley, call sign Wiz, and wow, look at the S&P 500, folks. S&P 500, 72.75. Rip your face off rally, all-time highs, tech earnings, Apple, Amazon. Man, this is absolute insanity. We're having a blast. And take a look at CBOE, Chicago Board Options Exchange, folks. Chicago Board Options Exchange. Rip your face off rally today. 9% pop in this name. Let's take a look at a 10-year chart of the S&P 500. Anybody see a trend? Look at this. Since the last time I recommended this, what was that? Let's just, how much are we, what's the profit now since the last time? Let's just say over 200. That's the stock up over 200%. And folks, every options is exploding. Every options contract is traded through the CBOE. Who was the bank robber when they arrested in the 20s? Hey, why draw banks? He's like, that's where the money is. Look at this, Dwayne. One of our members here, big run up in CBOE today. He closed one synthetic options contract position for a 700% gain. Opened in February of 2025 with a Jan 27 expiration. Thanks, Wiz. Folks, we're having an absolute blast here at Top Gun Options trading all this stuff. We have, if you attended our full throttle, is that this week? Man, it's been a long week. I think it was this week. If you attended our full throttle, look at here, over here on the right side, accelerated retirement, bullish on Merica trade. Ladies and gentlemen, if you did that trade, you're already making money. We put on a bullish position on the S&P 500 years into the future that can make 6 digits in profit for a couple grand today. Folks, this is insane. You have got, did you put this trade on? I hope you put this trade on earlier this week. There's still time to do it. The S&P 500, in my opinion, is going to keep moving up and to the right. Let me show you. I did a little booger eating last night, so to speak. I took the historical returns of the S&P 500 since day one of the S&P 500, okay? And I projected my thoughts forward in space and time. Folks, look at the red line. Over the next 5 years, if we have, my bearish case is the S&P 500 going up. Look at the top left here. You can see the bearish case, about 3% a year. The S&P 500 is up at 8,300. Now, the base case, just average returns, about 10% a year in the S&P 500. S&P is up at 11.5. The bullish case, folks, if we see 15% a year for the next 5 years, we're up at S&P 14,500. I got to be honest with you. I think you know what? I am. I'm actually going to go back and make a new line and say the uber bullish case, because that is the base case, is kind of an uber bullish case. Let me just go show you one of these bullish on America trades in my personal account. Where is it? SPX. Right here, folks. Let me analyze this, okay? And obviously, I put this on a couple months ago, but look at this. $1,800. I am risking $1,800 to potentially make, if you'll allow me, $100,000. Ladies and gentlemen, how many of you would invest $1,800 today to potentially make $100 grand? Now, this is assuming the S&P gets up to 15 or close to 15, 16,000. Folks, just an average return, 15% a year in the S&P 500 gets you up to 14.5. What's the S&P done for the past couple years, man? We've had 20, 22% returns in the S&P 500. Now, let me be clear. It ain't going to be a straight line like I've drawn on there. Let me give you a perfect example. Let's go back to the S&P 500. Does everybody remember the Joe Biden bear market? I do. Let's look at a 5-year chart of the S&P 500. There you go. There's the beginning of 2022, and there is a 25% decline in the S&P 500, right? There's the Trump tariff war right here this time last year. There's Operation Epic Fury. But folks, it tends to move up and to the right over time. That's why this chart is absolutely critical. If you didn't join this week, man, I don't know what else to tell you, but if you have 1,800 bucks, this is why I call it a bullish on America trade. Do you believe that the war is going to end? Epic fury somehow is going to end. We're going to get inflation. Oil's going to come down. AI's cranking out, profits and stuff like that. We should move up and to the right. But for 1,800 bucks potentially, and obviously if you do more contracts, let's say you did 3 contracts in there for, what is that? Let's just round up, $6,000. Would you spend $5,000 to $6,000 today to potentially make $300,000 a year into the future? And remember, folks, it doesn't have to hit those option strikes up there. You can get halfway up there, and those trades are going to be printing money. So again, man, I'm having fun doing this. I love all the comments today. Our Amazon trade. Oh, where is it? On the replay page, we talked about the Death Star this week, didn't we? Didn't we? Amazon earnings, sell the news or rip higher. Folks, if you have synthetic stock on Amazon, I'm not even going to waste the time and show you all the members right now over in Top Gun Options who are like unbelievable profits in our Amazon positions. This earnings right here was like, wow, look at all the money they're spending on CapEx. This implosion was, whoa, look at how much money they're spending on CapEx. And this one, as we talked about this week, said the market's going to realize Amazon is the Death Star and we're going to throw our money in here. Look at this rip your face off rally in Amazon. Our synthetic stock positions are printing money. It's obscene how much money we're making in these positions. Oh, and by the way, if you attended this week, what's the other thing we've been talking about? Psychedelics. The psychedelic sector is exploding. Take a look at, where are those? Hold on one second. Let me go find these. Here you go. So I have a folder. Whenever somebody in a live trade brief says something awesome like, hey, I'm printing money, I go grab the screenshot. Look at this folder. Brent. Another Brent checking in. We have a couple of them. With Definium. Added the first synthetic stock you mentioned and had shares in another account. Reading 6,000% return so far. Dojo. Definium up 40 grand. Joe, my Definium trade is up 752%. Benoit, my Definium synthetic stock is up 196%. Chris Provin, Definium up 513%. Arthur made 14,000 on Definium. Again, if you're sitting here kicking yourself, it ain't over. This is just getting started. As a matter of fact, some of these psychedelic names are having a little bit of a pullback after their monster run. Look at Definium. Rip your face off rally. There's me in the Oval Office with Trump. Sold the news a little bit. We didn't even fill this. Look at this. You see this run up? There's half the gap down here. We didn't even make it back to half the gap, and the stock turned around and is getting ready to run again. So buy these psychedelic names with both hands. If you're a Top Gun Options member, guess what? You have this. I update these reports Sunday night. So the psychedelic biotector brief, Compass, Definium, Atai, and Help. I got the price targets in there. I do this on Sunday. I update it with all the closing prices, the news, the recent developments, and I update my forecast. This one's worth its weight in gold, folks. The AI infrastructure super cycle report, Sunday's version of this, talking about all the earnings. You see NVIDIA? Amazon, man, there is so much going on in this AI space, and I will update my targeting list, the names, the target prices, and everything like that. Folks, this is part of being a Top Gun Options member. You get this hedge fund level institutional research. If you want to check out our solo AI service, head to go.topgunoptions.com/solo AI. That's easy to remember. And I'll give you access to that report, okay? Quick reminder, if, man, I missed your full throttle this week, folks, look at this primary brief. Buy these psychedelic names today. Accelerated retirement brief, bullish on America trade, right? Man, I'm having fun here. You can watch the replays this weekend. If you missed any of these things, go.topgunoptions.com/FT-replay. Man, like I said, we're having fun here. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, the Top Gun Options YouTube channel. Oh, and finally, before I go, this weekend, if you get a chance, Max Afterburner episode 152 just dropped. Wiz in the White House. Man, trust me, I thought I was going to get arrested, like going to the White House. I thought it was a setup or something like that. But week and a half ago, standing in the Oval Office with the President of the United States, Joe Rogan, RFK, the FDA Commissioner, my Navy SEAL brothers, Marcus and Morgan Luttrell. I'm coming up on my 5-year anniversary. At Marcus Luttrell and I went down to Mexico and got our asses kicked, man. And there's no way in hell you could have told me, lying on our backs and on a mattress in Mexico, staring at the Pacific, somebody could have said, hey, by the way, in 5 years from now, you're going to be in the White House with President Trump. I would have been like, what? President Trump? Joe Biden. So it's on Spotify, it's on Apple Podcast. You can listen there, or you can watch the video. For some reason, man, of course, it's the most important podcast I've done in the 5 years, 6 years of doing this, and the video goes away at like the 15-minute point. So my apologies. The studio's like, oh my God, we can't believe. They're mortified. I'm like, you know what, man, it's okay. I don't worry about it. So you can watch it on YouTube, but just know it ain't you. The video goes out and it's just the logo here, but you can still hear me talking. So good stuff, man. I got to go. What a great week. We had a great week here at Top Gun Options in our full throttle live trading and training. I'm going to drop this. There's a Florida news station that came and filmed one of our Sacred Warrior Fellowship retreats. It's a great clip. I'll post this on social media or maybe share it with you all next week. But quick reminder, if you'd like to sit in ceremony with us at Sacred Warrior Fellowship, our next retreat is May 29 to 31. Head to sacredwarriorfellowship.com to learn more information about that, okay? Have a great rest of your day. Fights on, namaste, and basi basi. Wiz out.